All right, shalom, shalom, man. We back at it again, man, with another episode for you guys, man, on this DNA Y-Haplogroup analysis, man, and pinpointing who the nations and tribes are of people, man, according to history and the Bible, man, with these genetics. So we're back, attacking this topic of who the Hamites are versus who the Jews are in not Israel, but in Africa. And there's a misconception that the majority of Africa is actually Hamitic people. When we see historically and also statistically, the vast majority of Africa is actually Israelites and Jews, man. So, this misconception is causing us to have what's called an evil eye in biblical terminology toward our actual brothers and our actual people who we actually come from and descend from, that we try to separate ourselves from so much from. So that's just something that we're going to go in, dive into, and a topic that we're going to dive into, man. So we're going to go into the dissection of Ham, right? Would you like to say something, brother, and introduce yourself?
What's up with y'all? It's Top Wolf, man. Shalom. Yeah, man. I agree with my brother. I'm tired of us. I'm tired of my people. I ain't gonna lie, man. Everybody needs to check their pedigree, because it be niggas who don't even. It's so many people, you feel me, together in these camps, and everybody is not related, bro. You know what I mean? We just know that statistically. You feel me? And just to know that these niggas out here, and I'm over here cussing this shit. I'm fucked up already. I definitely don't got shit to say, brother. I'm ready to get active.
No, say what you gotta say, man. Like, just get it, get out what you gotta say, man. His brothers out here, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep it a little professional. His brothers out here, man, that are, disrespecting their own heritage and their own group of people. And
they own people side by side, but with niggas who they don't even know if they for sure they family members or not, bro. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? So we gonna dive into it, man. The dissection of Ham, right? So let me add this to the stage.
Because the crazy part about it is, a nigga in Africa got a more clear shot of being an Israelite than your dumb ass being out here in Babylon.
That is the ironic part about it, right? The people that we're attacking are actually the people who have a better chance of being Israelites than the people over here, right?
Even the phenotypes that we're attacking amongst this, we're attacking what God sees as beauty compared to, you feel me? He probably thinks we ugly, bro. Let's just keep it real. You feel me? Like, we have mixed with so many different people, bro. The most you mix amongst yourselves, bro, is where the glory is manifested in. You know what I mean? So
magnified.
You look at our, you feel me, our people, bro. In West and Central Africa, bro, it's like looking at our ancestors, bro. You feel me? And just think, how strong and resilient these people are. You feel me? How smart, you feel me? And how the resilience that they have, is uncomparable, bro. So if you add the law to that, oh my God, these niggas will be walking superheroes, bro. Exactly. We will be walking superheroes. You feel me? So it's just like, niggas need to really calm down. You feel me? Go to the basics. And I'm gonna tell people this too. If you don't get, you feel me, the results that you want, you feel me, as far as being your father's lineage, it's cut in stone. We have a brother who's did three different businesses. He got the same Y DNA on each one. Yeah, so it's placed in stone, bro. So if you don't like what you got, bro, it really is what it is, bro, because it ain't nothing we could do about it. You might as well just enjoy your life, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the end of the world,
They are, man. This is not something you could just,
Exactly. It's just
like
our people, yeah.
You were what you were before you even came into the knowledge of being an
You
Israelite.
were what you were before you even came into the knowledge. And our people, bro, they want somebody who they could just focus the energy of hate to. You feel me? They want to see their enemy and they want to be able to focus it. You feel me? But going off of what we learning, it's not that easy to do. You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
But let's get
Uh
right into it. You know what I'm saying? Let's get right into it. You know, we gonna let the information speak for itself, man. The information gonna be that. Excuse me, got something in my throat, man. The information gonna be the ad hominem, right? Because this is it's gonna be the full disrespect and dismantle of everything that we were. I don't even want to really blame one West for it, but you know, most people that deny it are from the one West doctrine. But it's going to dismantle the claims of this just being the white man science and all this, that, and the third, man. But without further ado, the dissection of Ham, man. Right? The earliest people in places like Sumer, Canaan, Egypt, and Cush likely came from the very ancient African male family line Y-DNA haplogroup A, including early branches ancestral to and related to Y-DNA haplogroup A, right? Later on, new groups moved in through migration or conquest and became the ruling elites, but they did not completely replace the original population, which were later overlaid by incoming populations through migration, conquest, and elite dominance. What do you got to say about that, brother?
Man,
To the
so
law.
it's crazy, bro, because all of these kingdoms that were started by Ham, genealogically, wasn't ended, you feel me, or didn't end off with the same Hamites living in that land. And me and you have seen plenty of articles where they've done genome testing on the Hittites. They did DNA
Mhm.
testing on the Philistines at a certain period.
Right, right.
Edom. We can just keep going down the line, but all these
And the
different
police,
places,
all of them, man. Like,
Egypt, you feel me? All of these different places that were by the Bible started by the Hamites, right? We see different groups of people living there, during points of periods of time, but they're still claiming the Hamite name.
exactly, right? Because we have to understand a lot, and most societies weren't homogenous societies, right?
We were
Like,
the only ones.
we were one of the very few, damn near like you said, the only ones to really have a almost completely homogenous society, other than the people that we were, of course, like in slavery. We kept we how they be trying to say we kept it kosher, man, right? We kept it clean, and we kept our people within our people for the most part. But
You see it. Yep, exactly, brother. You feel me? You see it all through Genesis. Genesis 26, you see Esau marries the Hittites.
mhm,
You see Genesis 28, Esau marries the Ishmaelite women. You see Genesis 36, they list the Horite chiefs, you feel me, of Seir who were absorbed into Edom. Deuteronomy 2 and 12 says the Horites also dwelt in Seir before time, but the children of Esau succeed them. So we see the same pattern mainly with Esau, going into these lands that were started by indigenous nations,
uh-huh,
and then overridden by marrying into their nations and assimilating into their cultures.
right, exactly, right. We see a lot of migrating going on with a lot of different ethnic groups, right? But
Come.
the brother expounded on that to keep going on. So as we can see, and the sources are right here. You guys can screenshot and it'll pull up the source from where these screenshots are coming from, right? Um, so this one, right? The main focus for this source, right? It says Y chromosome haplogroup, haplotype, the A00 lineage, right? That lies at the basal position of the Y chromosome phenogenic tree. Incorporating this haplotype, the authors estimated the time to the most recent common ancestor, TMRCA, for the Y tree to be 33800. Oh, my bad. I didn't even know. 338,000 years ago. My bad, y'all. I got confused with the labeling of the numbers and stuff. But that's 95% CI, 237,000 through 581,000, right? Such an extraordinarily early estimate contradicts all previous estimates in the literature and is over 100,000 years older than the earliest fossils of anatomically modern humans. Now, of course, like we said before, this is taken into consideration that they're exaggerating these times, right? Of course, as Hebrew Israelites, we know that the earth hasn't been around that long, right? Or even not even being a Hebrew Israelite, people that don't subscribe completely to the evolution theory, right? Because of many contradictions, they're adding, their idea of time and exaggerating it to correlate with, the theory of evolution. So, don't really mind that part, right? 100,000 years older than the earliest fossils of anatomically modern humans. This estimate raises two astonishing possibilities. Either the novel Y chromosome was inherited after ancestral humans interbred with another species, or anatomically modern Homo sapiens emerged earlier than previously estimated, right? Would you like to speak on that, brother?
Yeah. So basically, what we're trying to say, if A000 is the hunters and gatherers that they're talking about, these ancient hunters and gatherers, the most oldest African lineage, who they attribute, the beginning of civilization to indirectly, and these civilizations, who we know are the first civilizations to pop up, really, are Hamite territories. Then what is that saying? Um, Go to the next one, brother, because that actually expounds on this link. The next slide,
Right.
and read that part right there, because that really is expounding on what we're trying to say about this slide right here.
Con. If early settled societies developed from local hunter-gatherer and herding populations, then the oldest paternal lines in regions like Egypt, Kush, Canaan, and Mesopotamia would statistically trace back to the deepest African Y DNA lineage, A00. And this is exactly what pretty much the brother just explained and what that explains. So this slide is just explaining exactly what he said, what he was saying, right? Back to the deepest African Y DNA lineage, A00, even if later migrations reduced during frequency. So notice they said these migrations even reduced, right? Just
Mm-hmm.
like people's population, as the brother has said, their populations reduced, right? Because the more, especially the more we started entering into Africa, um, essentially just like the Bible told us, right? With Deuteronomy chapter 4, and how the Lord told us to utterly destroy these people. We didn't get all of them done, right? We didn't get all of these people done. So that's another example of how it correlates with the Bible, how these people were a migrating people, and there are people were deduced in size because of us, right?
That's right, brother. And don't forget, this is not controversial. This is population genetics logic. This is fact right here. That's not a postulation.
Right, exactly. So let's go ahead and we go ahead and expound on that. Salakia, brother. I was trying to read something real quick. Let me just mute my mic really fast.
Go
Salakia.
to the next slide, then.
Oh yeah, we on that one. We on that
Mm-hmm.
one.
Oh yeah, here we go. Okay. So yeah, the genetic differences between Yasharala and Ham. We are the E1B1 descendants. So we're going to prove that E1B1 and his descendants, some younger subclades of E1B1B and the entire new subclade of E1B1A, are the original Israelite Y chromosome and most associated with the Southern Kingdom now. And not all of Africa is the same. You got different Y chromosome carriers in Africa, different races of so-called black people. Um, one good thing I would like to point out, Brother Miko, is it's more than just Israelites and Hamites. It's straight, it's straight different Y chromosome carriers in Africa. There's different Shemites in Africa too. You got the Ethiopians and the Tigrayans and the Eritreans and the Djibouti. Those regions, all of those people that come from those ethnic groups that are major in that area, they come from the kingdom of Aksum. If you look up the kingdom of Aksum, it's an easy Google search. You'll see that it was founded by the kingdom of Dumt, which is DMT.
Mm,
Easy Google search. Again, if you see who started the Dumt kingdom, It's the kingdom of Sabia in the Arabian Peninsula. So who are these people? Those are your Sabians. So there are other Shemites in Africa also. You know, so there's so many different groups of people just for us to blindly label Africa as Ham. And Ham is actually the smallest group of people in Africa.
As we've been telling brothers, this is the really cold part about this information, right? And I want to make it clear on record, on tape. If you are to go into actually unbiasedly, right? And I shouldn't even have to say unbiased. If you were to go and actually sit down like this was a classroom and look at this information, you would see that other than the whole evolution side, the information almost flawlessly lines up with history to a T.
Exactly.
To a point you can't deny that certain, like, these groups of people are people. And the thing is that the same way we understand that we are coming up and putting these just for the sake of argument, hypothesis and theses to get theories together about who's who. They're doing the same thing, and they're just going by history and adding it along. We're all doing the same thing. It's all
exactly.
So, as for the community, we have to stop thinking, for one, oh, this just some information that might not be new to you is just the white man's information. You cannot say that you have an opinion on something that if it is true or false or not, if you have not even judged the matter. Doesn't the Bible tell us that? So many guys are having an opinion on something you've never studied. How can you tell me, let's say I'm a person that, I'm not going to rant too much longer. If I'm a person that has taken 3 years into looking into the truths and falses of DNA, and you're a person that's just giving me your opinion about if it's true or false off of you watching one video for 20 minutes, there's no comparison on what you can tell me about what I've studied versus what you haven't. So we have to start getting that mindset in. I just wanted to say that for the tape, right?
Exactly. If you scared, say you scared, nigga. we all was scared, nigga. This ain't, you feel me, nigga? It's a part of being a man, bro. Check your pedigree, nigga. Stop being scary, bro. It's a paternity. Since when the niggas stop believing in paternity tests?
It's a
the white man did it, nigga. Okay, so that means don't even look at the Bible then, because the white man had his hands all over the Bible too.
We gotta say that one for the tape too, man, because they both go by the same thing, right?
Exactly.
Haplogroup has to do with your blood too. So every time you niggas out here are having kids and y'all getting that call from what might be your BM and you got that test to see if that kid is yours or not, and you know that kid ain't yours, I want you to treat it the same exact way with this Y-Haplogroup.
Exactly, because that's what they checking. Your Y chromosome.
That kid ain't yours, but the test come back as the kid ain't yours. No, you don't believe it, right? You don't believe in blood tests, so that kid is yours, nigga. Raise him. That's how it's finna start having to be. Y'all have to start picking a side of truth or false.
Exactly.
Y'all right in the line with it. So, you know what I'm saying?
There's so many niggas hauling ass after that last video, brother. You feel me? It's because, you know, it's just, we just seeing that niggas are scared, bro. Niggas don't want to say that they scared, but it is what it is, bro. You feel me? You a man, bro. Every man has different emotions. You feel me? Every man gets scared, bro. This shit ain't no game. We obviously see that it's no game, and we was treating it like it was a game, for lack of better words. You feel me? In the past, niggas out on the street.
Exactly. Let's continue, right? So, our position is that the paternal lineage associated with the haplogroup E1B1 and its descendants moved south of the Sahara at a later period into regions where it was not originally predominant. This southward movement represents migration.
Brother, could you hear me? I just got a call. I kind of cut off what I was saying.
Oh yeah, we heard you. It's all good.
Yeah. So I'm saying, like, niggas out here blindly on the street just postulating people's whole ethnicities and shit like that from their own mind. But when it comes down to actually seeing what your Y chromosome says, then it's just bullshit. But your mind, your own little postulation, who you think is cool or not could be in your group or not, you feel me, is supposed to be worthy. The fuck out of here.
We gotta be fair and clear and transparent about it and be real, right? But let me continue. This southward movement represents migration and expansion, not indigenous origin, right? So there is no securely published ancient DNA sample for older than 3,000 years that is unambiguously E1B1A or EM81. That means E1B1A and EM81 is deduced to be ancient, but its earliest physical aDNA confirmation is relatively recent. So this is more, as we said, this is more tall.
Let me expound on that, boy.
This is more tall tale science, right? They know for a fact that E1B1A, not only do they know that is an ancient Israelite genetic, they see all the clear-cut relation it has to who we call the so-called Negroes today and the people who we seen in the Bible, right? Even down to the point of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? But let's continue, right? We maintain that there is no archaeological or skeletal.
Wait, hold on, brother. I want to point this out before we leave on that 3,000. What people don't understand, this is huge. You feel me? Because 3,000 years ago was postulated when we came into Egypt. You feel me? And started staying there. And we know us as being the people that we've always been our whole lives before we even put a name Israelite to it or found out the truth or anything. We don't stay still. We move around. You feel me? You can't tell me that our family members just stayed in Egypt and we just confined into ancient Egypt. No, you know, we was moving around Africa. And that was the first emergence of E1B1A that you see in Africa. Now, how long ago was 70 AD? That's about 1,900 years ago. You feel me? So it all matches into this 3,000 year span. Then they cannot mysteriously find no DNA in Africa beyond that from us. You feel me? I just want to, make it super clear for their ass.
God, that's a great point to even bring out.
Yeah.
We maintain that there is no archaeological or skeletal evidence demonstrating that this lineage originated in sub-Saharan Africa. The earliest known skeletal remains recovered from sub-Saharan contexts are most consistently associated with Y-DNA haplogroups A and B, right? Which is those same ones that we said are the oldest ones, right? Which represent some of the oldest paternal lineages on the continent. These findings support the view that haplogroups A and B correspond to the earliest indigenous populations of sub-Saharan Africa, while E1B1 and its subclades reflect later population movements in these regions.
That's great. That's great.
So we pretty much, as we're reading this along for you guys, we pretty much expounded. So we're not gonna harp on every one of these slides for y'all.
Because we will be here all day.
Yeah, we giving y'all the sauce. Right. So this distinction, and brother, you can go ahead and expound on this after I read it. This distinction aligns with the understanding that Ham is associated with haplogroups A and B, while other paternal lineages entered sub-Saharan Africa through migration rather than original settlement.
Yep, that's exactly what we were saying just now. You feel me? We know that Ham was in Africa, you feel me, in these other regions beforehand. And we know that we came from where, brother? From the Turkey region, right? From Noah, right? So if we came from that area into Northeast Africa, that means Ham would have settled into these regions that the Bible said first, which would be Canaan, which would be, Canaan, the Levant region, Egypt region, Mesopotamia region. And we seen that those areas they got pushed out of first. It all makes sense. And they got pushed further into the continent. And now we can go to the next slides to see, oh yeah, go ahead, brother. Were you saying something?
And this is another thing I just want to throw out for them. For the people who do know, of the doctrines of Genesis and, the garden and the Fertile Crescent and all that, and what they call the proto-Canaanites, right? The people who would have been the Canaanites before the flood. Their theory of haplogroups A and B directly aligns with that doctrine, that those are the oldest people. Those are the oldest people, even before and after the flood. They would have been the oldest group of people before and after the flood. Right? So we're going to go on to it. Evidence from both genetics and archaeology indicates that some of the earliest populations associated with the Nile Valley and adjacent regions, including those linked with the early kingdom of Kush, carried ancient paternal lineages within haplogroup A, including a subclade such as AM13. Prior to later population, movements into sub-Saharan Africa, haplogroups A and B were already present on the continent, representing some of the deepest and most ancient Y chromosome lineages known. Genetic evidence supports the conclusion that these lineages predate later expansions of other haplogroups into sub-Saharan regions. So you can see all the hotspots where A is the most prominent, right? So
Hey,
the
you got a picture of that of the hair?
you said, huh, brother?
Did you show the picture of the lock of hair that they tested for AM13?
Oh, I didn't, but I'll throw it. I can throw it in here. I'll throw it in here.
Yeah, I just wanted to show them, like, because they say that our nappy hair is more Hamitic. However, this ancient lock of hair that is actually Hamitic from Egypt does not look like Negro hair at all. It looks like
You can
it's
go ahead.
loose curl pattern.
I'll overlay it. I'll overlay it over this so they can see.
It's good. It's loose curl pattern. And I want you guys to look at this map right here. It shows how much we assimilated or pushed the Hamites into remote regions of Africa. Now, these
Exactly.
areas where you see 5% at are the remaining groups of people who would be lingering within the tribes of the people who are the real Judites. You feel me? That was left over from those regions that we had killed off. Now,
Exactly.
the dark areas you see, like the southernmost tip region, that's the Kalahari Desert. Don't nobody want to live there. You feel we push the Sands people over there. You see Central Africa hot spots of A is your hunter gatherers and your pygmies. We push them into the deep jungles, the remote jungles, inhabitable. You feel uninhabitable, where people aren't farming. You feel me? Where the damn silverback gorillas is and shit like that. And then you see the Nile Valley, and
Let me
that is the hub of Nubia and Egypt.
let me put it in layman's terms for basically what you just said. So
Mhm.
those dark regions, for what he said, the lighter regions, if this whole thing was red and the dark is the means that that's where the most heavily populated, right? If this whole thing was a what we imagine to be that dark red, look at how it's just drifting into certain spots. That means that they were migrated and forced to be there at a high percentage. And
That
like
part.
he said, less of them are scattered on the outskirts of that. Right, those are the people who were remaining. But I just wanted to make that layman's term for them. The map might be a little confusing for them, but you explaining it perfectly.
Yeah. All right, we can keep going.
All right. So hopefully everybody is keeping up with the speed right now, man. May the Most High, I meant to say, may the Most High have a blessing on the listener, man, and reader of this, man.
Yo, yeah, exactly. And I want to point out, they said AM13 on the ancient Kushites, man. Just remember that pre-dynasty Egyptians came from the region of Kush also, which is Nubia, which the Bible would call Ethiopia, just so you guys know. Not the present day Ethiopia.
Here we go, right? Exactly. Not the present day one. Exactly. So this is further supported by findings from the archaeological site of Shumlaka in present-day Cameroon. Analysis of skeletal remains dating to approximately 8,000 years ago and 3,000 years ago show continuity in paternal ancestry, with individuals carrying haplogroup AOO and other A and B related lineages, including markers such as BM60. These findings demonstrate that haplogroups A and B were firmly established in sub-Saharan Africa long before later migratory events, reinforcing the distinction between indigenous African paternal lineages and those that entered the region at later periods.
Let's get it.
Mm, 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 mm.
You can't beat this, man. If you running from this, you just hiding, man.
Exactly,
You
right?
just want to hate your people at this point.
So I'm gonna read this source for you guys too, just to show you how it this aligns with history, right? Because haplogroup A is also found in Europe, right? It's also found in Europe, just like if you know about for the people who play games like Assassin's Creed and stuff like that, right? Prince of Persia, all that, right? You know that they had Hamitic people amongst their societies, right? The Anatolians, they had Hamitic people, right? The Persians, they had Hamitic people amongst the Hamites were in different places, right? Just like they were even in Greece, right? So it says yes, Y haplogroup A is found in Europe, but it is rare, which is very true because you find Y haplogroup A predominantly in Africa, right? but it is rare and considered an African haplogroup. Its presence is linked to historic migrations with evidence found in certain populations like some Iberian Jewish communities, Greeks on the island of Mytilene, Cypriots, and individuals from Yorkshire, England. Yes, Y-DNA haplogroup A was present in the human population around 700 BC. In fact, it is considered the oldest and most basal of all human Y-DNA haplogroups. And what time period do we know 700 BC to be around? The Assyrian captivity, right?
That's right.
They were very much present, man. And it goes back to the point that the brother said in the beginning, that these societies, you might have a society that was ran by a certain group of people, but you would still find that society was not homogenous, and other groups would be under that society claiming to be that society too. So let's go to the next slide, right? Genetic patterns of Y chromosome and mitochondrial DNA variation with implications to the peopling of the Sudan, right? So this is like we were talking about with like Ethiopia and stuff like that, right? I'm gonna let the brother expound after I read on to this, right? So this is though that link was actually to this source, right? Bone samples from different skeletal elements of burial sites from Neolithic, Meroitic, post-Meroitic, and Christian periods in Sudan were collected from Sudan National Museum. A DNA extraction was successful in 35 out of 76 samples. PCR was performed for sex determination using my bad, y'all. A melanin marker. 14 samples were females and 19 were males to generate Y chromosome specific haplogroups AM13. That's the one that was mentioned earlier, right? BM60, FM89, and Y-Alu polymorphism.
That's YAP markers. That's what we got. So that means, and if this says YAP markers, that means some E markers was found in that thing. But the majority is AM13 and BM60, and that's what we focused on.
You want to relate that acronym, that YAP, like he said, you want to relate that to us, like not fully, but it has relation to us, like he said. Haplogroups in the phylogenetic tree of Y chromosomes were used, right? These early BM60 haplogroup Nilotic populations that colonized southern Egypt were the Proto-Sudanic speaking ancestors of the Nile and inhabited parts of lower Nubia.
Bring it out.
Go ahead.
I said bring it out. I was getting excited.
Oh, yeah. They are associated with pre-dynastic Egyptian sites such as Nabta Playa, Jebel Sahaba, and the Greater Quadan cultures. Right? So I'll read this excerpt for you guys too, right? The relatively high effective population size of the Copts is unlikely to have been influenced by their recent history in Sudan, right? So now they're going back to the Copts, right? The current communities are known to be largely the product of recent migrations from Egypt. So outside of even this DNA stuff, I know a couple of you Israelites that would still say, yeah, those are not those aren't the original Ethiopians. Those aren't the original. So a lot of you guys actually agree with what we're saying, but you just don't want to admit it, right? So the current communities are known to be largely the product of recent migrations from Egypt over the past 2 centuries. The Cope samples displayed a most interesting Y profile, enough as much as that of the Galilean in Sudan, to suggest that they actually represent a living record of the peopling of Egypt. The significant frequency of BM60 in this group might be a relic of a history of colonization of southern Egypt, probably by Nilotics in the early state formation, something that conforms both to recorded history and to Egyptian.
That's mythology. Right.
2 to 3 witnesses. We gotta stay in the Bible, y'all. I don't care who you are as a teacher. 2 to 3 witnesses. We gotta go by the Bible, and we gotta go by what we believe in. But the Bible ain't the only thing. We gotta go by the Bible, the history, and the truth, man.
We got the Bible, we got history and genetics, all wrapped in one, saying the same exact thing. But everybody wants to go to church now.
Hey, we
be scared.
we bring in the evidence. We bring in the 2 to 3 witnesses, y'all.
Yeah.
Bugging.
And you know, we should not run from this at all. This really backs our claims, bro. 100%. I don't know why we doing this.
Look,
It literally backs our claims, bro. You know how stronger our arguments would be too, using our third component, genetics. You feel me?
It would actually help
God.
Israelites more. People can say we bugging, but they can't say that we're not bringing the 2 to 3 witnesses, right? So these findings are consistent with the widely accepted view that the early ancestors of Nilotic populations once inhabited regions of Egypt and northern Sudan before gradually moving southward into central and southern Sudan over long periods of time. And a lot of the times when they do these 3D, you know, like scans of what they think these people would look like, you know, how they do with Jesus and stuff, they'll lie about it. But this is very highly accurate to what these actual Hamitic people would look like, because this is still accurate to the people that are Hamitic that we see today. We still see. So there's no assumption here when you have the living proof of the people that you can see in these regions, that even aside from the DNA, the history alone is saying that these people migrated, and these are those people. We're bringing the 2 to 3 witnesses, y'all. And I want to give a great amount of first offering to the Most High, but and his son Yahushua. But I want to give a great round of applause to the brother here for compiling a lot of this information. This brother is very highly knowledgeable in the anthropology of Africa for sure.
And yeah, we've been putting this together for a minute, y'all. Me and Miko and the rest of the aristocrats of Free Yasharala. I ain't gonna lie, bro. We be group chatting and studying shit almost every day, bro, for like a year and a half, bro, to put all this together. So it ain't nothing that's just, you know, just coming out the ass or anything like that. You feel me? Like, niggas was very unsure in so many different things, bro. You feel me? But we love the truth. We want the truth. That's what we want. You know, we don't want nothing that's just gonna make us feel good. You know what I mean? We like finding out what really happened. That's the difference.
100% agree, man. Within our biblical genealogical framework, this population history can be associated with Ham, whose descendants are understood to represent some of the earliest indigenous peoples of Africa. In this model, groups such as Nilotic peoples, Caucasian people populations, and Central African hunter-gatherer communities reflect ancient African continuity and are most commonly associated with Y-DNA haplogroups A and B among the oldest paternal lineages known. Africa contains multiple deep-rooted populations with distinct paternal history, and haplogroups A and B represent some of the continent's most ancient male lineages preserved amongst these communities. So we're going to get ready to show you a few pictures and slideshows of these people who are actually Ham, right?
Yeah, because people ain't seeing Hamites on these streets, brother. They niggas ain't. The last time a nigga seen a real Hamite was fucking Manute Bo. You feel me? Or any Sudanese that they didn't see, bro. You feel me? And they barely be out here.
So, brother, our people didn't. Now, like you said, brother, some of our people that took on these customers started doing this too. But the majority of the people you see doing this are these people that we're talking about. These are your Hamitic people, right? These are the. Brother, I know you got a lot to say about these, brother. So you go ahead and go off and give your spiel if you want.
Yeah, that's their. I believe this. I forgot what exact tribe this picture I snatched from, but those are Nilotic people, basically in the Great Rift Valley area. The thing about Ham is when we pushed them down, they did not follow prophecy as we follow, with God saying that we will be beyond the river of Ethiopia. So that's how we know that. Another reason why we know that these are two different peoples. You feel me? Because even though they still got pushed down, just like we got pushed down, they went in different directions. You know, settled in different areas, more remote areas also. So when you see these groups of people like your Turkana, the Messiah, the Shiluk, the Nuba, the Dinka, there's plenty of different groups of Hamites.
But you know what's cold, brother, too? And why we say all this stuff connects? Because like we do have brothers in our people that get this dark. You know, your phenotypes don't always dictate who you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Who get this dark, of course. But what does this remind you of, community? Well, especially the brothers that teach on the street, and we bring the fact of us being in Egypt as slaves, the hieroglyphs. What a lot of you guys say? The when they depicted the actual Egyptians, the Hamitic people, they depicted them as the tall, actual black ones, right? And then they depicted the slaves as the quote unquote brown ones, right? Even though we know we can get that dark too. It's there's connecting things with these quote unquote theories. They connect, right? But yeah, you see these people, man. And if I remember correctly,
Right here, this is the Nuba people. This is
some of
the
that.
Nuba people.
You
So
said,
these are Nubians.
huh? Oh yeah, kind of. Yeah, them Nubians. That just remind me of the Proud Family. If you know, you know. Nubians.
There's a good there's a good documentary that y'all should watch, man. It's called Karamoja. It's like made in 1950. Um a traveler went to Uganda and actually started studying the Karamoja people who are AM13 carriers in their DNA, and they were actually still practicing Baal worship. So we know my postulation is the Great Rift Valley Hamites. Those are like your Canaanites. You feel me? I would probably throw the Pygmies in there too. And then I would say the ones around the Nile River Valley of Sudan and all that are your leftover original Egyptians and original Cushites. You know what I mean? And I don't know who the hell them co-Asian motherfuckers are. They look crazy, bro. I don't know
I low
where
key,
they come from.
I low key think that those Coasians and that they got those phenotypes that they have,
Mm-hmm.
those quote unquote Mongolian slight phenotypes. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like they might have been the Hamites or I think Canaanites that were amongst the Moabites, like the ones around Numbers. I
Hmm.
think that they could have been those a product of those ones around Numbers. Uh,
Could be.
back when uh we were around each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's go on to these other ones, right? So y'all can see because this is the end of the information, y'all. We just
We
we
putting a face to him, man, so y'all can stop disrespecting our family out on the streets. You
mhm.
with people that don't even know they own family records, but you disrespect the people who got a better chance of being a fucking
Israel.
Israelite than you or them.
That's
If
the
you're in Babylon, a West African has a better chance at being a Israelite than you. I'm gonna just keep it real.
mhm. This is the cohesions right here. The cohesions, yeah. And this, oh, look at them pygmies, bro. Look at that. Ah,
Chris
man.
Rock, Chris Rock.
Chris Rock is a pygmy.
And
So now y'all know, man.
hey, yeah, on everything we gotta point that out too. Yeah, the African American community, bro, the so-called African American community, we are not safe. We gotta check, bro, because we see many of people got thrown on these ships with us, bro. You feel me? They probably was in Africa, saw a little pygmy, was oh, this could be my little helper, and then how now we have Chris Rock. You know what I mean? 'Cause if you look at Ancestry, the show that they got, you feel me? We see that Chris Rock is a BM60 carrier. He comes from the Mabuti Pygmies. That's his patrilineal lineage. He is not one of us. You
It,
feel me? Same thing with the Wayans brothers. They come from a group of a tribe of Africans in Madagascar who are half Jews, half Moabites through
right.
ancient relations.
It gets tricky, man, and it gets sick, man. And I'm getting ready to close out. We had 43 minutes, man. It get tricky and it gets sick, man. I'm a close out and I'm gonna give you a chance to say your final statement, but this is should let y'all know, man, how real this is more than us even just talking on the streets and yelling at people. I don't do a disservice or to anybody that's doing that because I've done that, but it also gets deeper than what we just know with One West. And you really see that just because you came in the truth and just because you put on the fringes or you went on it, it's deeper than just the surface. You thought you found just the whole truth, but this it seemed like this book ain't never ended,
We
and
all did.
more than we thought it had.
Exactly, man. I feel you on that, bro. You know what I mean? And yeah, definitely people got to know that this shit is serious, bro. And as you can see, we got Ham, and we coming next with Judah, man. We gonna pinpoint that because we
Mhm.
need we need to stop disrespecting our people, bro. That's what we do. Need to stop doing, man. I'm so tired of motherfuckers talking about fuck Africans and fuck Hamites and yelling at any dark skinned nigga with an African accent that they see, bro. You feel me? That's white supremacy, nigga. And you need to check your damn self, nigga. You feel me? Because them niggas is more, you feel me? Got more Israelite blood in them than yo ass do for sure. After all the shit that we done been through over here in this hellhole of Babylon.
Exactly.
So yeah.
It's crazy, man. But with that, man, we'd like to give all honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh, man. We're going to get up out of here, man. Be prepared for the next uploads because we finna give it to y'all cold with the Jews, baby, and y'all not ready, man. And with that,
Definitely.
man, give it all honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh. We do that in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world calls Yahweh Shai. And before I say Shalom, we're going to get to our brothers that are indigenous as well, man. Y'all be ready for that, too.
Yeah, we coming, man, because definitely, man, y'all are people too, bro. You feel me? Y'all just got put through the blender a little bit more because of that, a little bit more of those stunts that y'all pulled.
Well, we
but
gonna
you know, it's all good.
Onlys and Latino onlys with that too, man. That's what y'all don't understand. This is for the whole community. Y'all think it's just this is bug out time. No, it's time for our people to actually be.
Yeah, bug out time is thinking that you're a fucking mental paternity test. You could tell people who the hell they are just by asking them who they fucking granddaddy was 3 times down. That's the bug out.
Exactly. But we love y'all, man. With that, we're gonna give all honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh in the name of His only begotten Son and say Shalom. Man.
Shalom.
Hey, I came from fucking royalty, bitch, I'm a meal ticket. Thought it was over, but my God said time is still ticking. Just like my sisters, we still robbing, fizz and still licking. Trying to put that yo back on the crackers that be still drinking. They claim them swords, but my serpent niggas still flicking. That's that fully bitch is still kicking. Glock 40 with a fully on it, still blicking.